What's the most heinous, unspeakable crime you have committed in public? I'm an adult in my mid-20s who has a very controversial way of punishing bratty children. I'm about 6 feet 7 inches, so even when I'm just trying to be friendly and meeting a family member's or friend's kid for the first time, I've noticed they get very high between their mother's legs, intimidated on sight if I'm not sitting down. So it's not hard for me to silence and intimidate a child, especially when I'm trying to. However, a few times I've been called out for my methods of punishing bratty children. One time I was pretty drunk with a friend at a Target buying a game called Risk. This little 5-year-old, Mexican kid with a mohawk was being an insufferable little jerk in the action figure section. I heard him from like 5 aisles over and it was like nails on a chalkboard. I tell my friend, I'm gonna fart on this kid's head. Watch and learn. I saunter on over to the aisle in question and see the vile little prick calling his mom an idiot for not buying him a huge freaking G.I. Joe the movie vehicle. His mom pleads with him saying, I already bought that one for you and you broke it by throwing it down the stairs. He says, shut up. I need it. It's the only one I don't have now. The mother was younger than me and in her early 20s. She gave a defeated look and said, I don't have enough money right now. He says, you are an idiot, and continues to just berate and publicly shame this woman. At the time, I was on a strict Chipotle carnitas burrito diet. And while I was watching all this, my stomach gave me an initial warning gurgle, telling me I was about an hour away from punishing the toilet. It was as if I had found my calling and purpose in the world. I inch a bit closer to my prey, inspecting some wrestling toys and pondering the weird homoerotic-ness of the whole sport in general. The kid shouts, screw you, I hate you. The mom rolls her eyes and turns her back to the kid to ignore him. And could you believe it? The kid gets on his hands and knees and starts taking the toy out of the box. It's go time, you piece of crap. I position my back towards him and at this point I'm like 2 feet away from him. His head is down, getting frustrated with those goddamn twisty tie things, and I go for the kill. I bend down to reach for one of the toys on the lower shelf. At this point, my butt is inches away from this kid's head. Now, generally speaking, the best way to go about this is to act casual, drop your belly bomb, then walk away after a few seconds like nothing is out of the ordinary. I usually go one all over and listen to the kid's reaction and delight. Today I couldn't help myself. I have my head tilted back looking at this kid out of the corner of my eye, to ensure accuracy. I'm so close that from a distance it looks like I'm about to sit on him. My friend sees this happening and can no longer contain himself. He's covering his mouth, but his hyperventilating donkey chortle is fairly audible over the late 90s pop music playing on the loudspeakers. The kid immediately looks up towards the laughter, but can't help but notice there is a butt now directly in his face. Now, I'm trying not to laugh but also panicking as I just made eye contact with him. He furrows his brow and I look over in the mother's direction, still back towards us. I relish in the moment and the look on this child's confused and naive face. The initial blast was mighty and boisterous. I swear I saw his hair blowing in the wind. If I wasn't wearing jeans, I think it could have probably blown over an empty soda can. I would call it a very fun fart. However, what immediately followed after I let it out of the chamber was truly horrifying. The fart's implication changed without notice and swiftly. It went from a joyous, dry air horn squeal to a nefarious, hissing muffitis. I think the little mop had noticed the hateful metamorphosis before even I did, because he wrenched his neck violently trying to get away from the personified evil being fumigated into his soul. Because of his positioning, it was all in vain, as the only way out was forward, and forward would mean certain death. I had positioned myself well on the higher ground, free to escape or relent at any time. However, the poor child was immobilized, biding his time until the cruel attack was over. Obviously, this child hadn't anticipated my strategic genius.